We're doing a Facebook Live, and I think I'm up next to speak. So I'm going to turn the camera over to
Our next
Sadie.
speaker is Ellen Joffe Jones.
Just hold it.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me in the back of the room? Yes. All right, everybody. I am a vegan cookbook author. Eat vegan on $4 a day. Paleo vegan, kitchen divided, and even vegan sex, because what's good for the heart is good for other parts. Yes, I co-authored with the cardiologist. The cardiologists are really getting this whole vegan thing. So I want to thank you all for being here. I know that we can get pretty discouraged trying to get governments to take action. Especially, it just seems like they drag their feet forever, right? And if they don't act, we feel there's nothing else we can do and we're completely doomed. But I've got some really good news. While waiting for government action, there's a very significant and empowering step that we can individually take that will have a major impact on climate change, other than environmental issues. And that is simply switching to a plant-based vegan diet. That means nothing with a mother or a face. Nothing that poops, in case you're wondering what kind of foods they are. And you get to vote with your wallet 3 times a day with what you buy at the store. Animal agriculture and our animal-based diet is the single greatest driver of climate change and environmental destruction. In fact, the United Nations, if you believe in them, has reported that animal agriculture accounts for 18% of all greenhouse gases. That's greater than all forms of transportation in the world combined. That means cars, trucks, trains, and planes. Let me repeat that. That's greater than all forms of transportation in the world combined. Other credible studies put this as high as 51%. We can meet most, if not all, of our near-term emissions just by switching to a plant-based diet. This buys us the time we need to convert our infrastructure to a carbon-free one. The impact of animal agriculture and our animal-based diet doesn't just stop at climate change. It is wreaking havoc upon our planet with entire ecosystems. A study released just this week says the U.S. and Canada have lost 30% of all of their birds since 1970. That's outrageous. Animal agriculture consumes 66% of the world's farmland for livestock grazing and for the vast monoculture crops used to feed these animals. These crops are laced with herbicides and pesticides that are polluting our earth, and it's led to a loss of almost 50% of the Earth's biodiversity. Scientists have proclaimed that we are in the middle of a 6th mass extinction of life on Earth. That includes us, folks. We are going extinct. Our oceans are dying due to overfishing and acidification of our oceans caused by warming waters. When our oceans die, we die. Our rainforests are being burned and clear-cut. Over 90% of that, 90% is for animal agriculture. Again, for livestock grazing and vast feed crops. What's happening in the Amazon and Indonesia, don't be fooled into thinking it's for tofu for vegans, please. It is land used to grow soybeans to feed an insatiable worldwide demand for meat. 800 million people are starving while we waste land and resources, raising and feeding 70 billion farm animals. 1 acre of land can produce 400,000 pounds of potatoes, but only 137 pounds of beef. The waste of land and resources is killing our planet, not to mention our health. An Oxford study reports that by switching to a vegan diet, global farmland can be reduced by 75%. That's an area the size of the U.S., China, Australia, and the EU combined. We can reforest the earth with much of that land. We can restore the earth's biodiversity and reduce climate change by returning the ability of forests to absorb carbon from the atmosphere. Right on. To quote a report from the UN Environmental Program, a global shift to a vegan diet is vital to save the world from the worst impacts of climate change. The UN has said the number one thing we can do to reduce our carbon footprint is to give up animal agriculture. That's more than giving up any form of transportation combined. We all have the power to heal our planet. It's right under our plates. All it takes is one simple change. For the sake of the earth, please go vegan now. I know you can do it, and we must do it. We must do it not only for the sake of ourselves, but future generations inheriting this train wreck that we have given them. They will eventually ask, what were you thinking? What were you doing at the revolution? Thank you all.
I think it took, I don't know.
All right, everybody, that was my talk. I hope you heard it.
I've been asked to request that everyone.
Yes, of course. We've got a friend here who's wearing the vegan
Hi, everyone.
Go Vegan sign. This is the only vegan sign. Yes. Okay, we're going to close the
Everyone,
live here.
may I have your attention?
By the way, 2 high school students organized this. It's amazing. So, got to run.